The studio was buzzing with quiet anticipation. A million tiny details falling into place to set the scene for one of Sister Wives' most anticipated moments. The bright lights hovered overhead like artificial stars, casting a glow that made every expression sharper, every emotion louder. The crew shuffled about, adjusting mix, checking cameras, and rehearsing cues. But backstage, away from the prying eyes of millions, a very different drama was unfolding. A moment that no one would see on camera, but one that would ripple through the entire reunion, changing everything. Kody Brown sat alone in a stark green room, the hum of production fading behind the heavy curtain. His jaw was tight, fingers tapping rhythmically on the armrest of his chair. A subtle storm brewed beneath his calm exterior, one that threatened to crack wide open at any second. That's when Robyn entered. The quiet power play. Robyn's footsteps were soft but deliberate. She carried herself with a blend of grace and quiet authority, a presence that seemed to fill the room instantly. She wore a calm smile, but her eyes held something sharper, a determination that many might mistake for serenity. "Kody," she said softly, stepping close but not touching. "You're ready for this. They want to hear your story, your truth." He nodded, swallowing hard. "I'm just tired, Robyn. Tired of being misunderstood, of being painted as the villain." She sat beside him, her voice lowering to a whisper. "They don't see what you've done. They don't see your side." Kody's eyes flickered, hope mingling with doubt. "I just want to be heard." Robyn reached out, her hand brushing his arm briefly, a small, calculated gesture of comfort. "And you will be. But you have to stay strong. No cracks." The air grew thick with unspoken words. Robyn was not just comforting Kody. She was steering him, molding the narrative they both knew was about to be challenged under the unforgiving lights of the reunion stage. A whisper that shaped the night. Minutes later, the cameras rolled. The reunion began with the usual cordiality, laughter, and rehearsed smiles. But the tension was palpable, especially between Kody and Christine, whose departure from the family had sent shockwaves through the fan base. Kody tried to maintain control, but as Christine's words cut through with raw honesty, the cracks began to show. His carefully crafted image started to unravel. Backstage, Robyn watched intently from the sidelines. She knew every line Kody would say, every pause, every hesitation. And when Kody faltered, she whispered to him through the earpiece provided by production, a lifeline in the storm. "Stay calm. Remember what we talked about. Keep the focus." Her voice was a tether, pulling him back from the edge when the public spotlight threatened to expose more than he wanted to share. The collapse. Despite Robyn's whispered reassurances, Kody's defenses crumbled in live view. The weight of accusations, the raw truths Christine laid bare, and the audience's expectant silence chipped away at him. His voice wavered. He clenched his fists. The facade of control slipped. It was a rare moment, the powerful patriarch suddenly vulnerable, the man behind the image exposed. Off camera, Robyn's eyes softened, but her resolve didn't waver. She leaned closer, reminding him quietly, "It's not about winning tonight. It's about surviving." And survive he did, but not without scars. Aftermath. The power behind the scenes. The episode's fallout was immediate. Fans debated, dissected every glance, every word. Some sympathized with Kody, seeing a man overwhelmed by decades of pressure. Others applauded Christine's bravery and questioned the power dynamics at play. Few knew about Robyn's backstage role, how a whisper in a green room had shaped the narrative as much as the words spoken on stage. Behind the scenes, Robyn had been more than a wife. She was a strategist, a guardian of Kody's image, and a quiet force ensuring that even when he stumbled, the story would not be lost. Reflections in Solitude. Days after the reunion aired, Kody sat alone in his study, replaying the moments in his head. He wondered if he had said enough, if he had defended himself well, if the cracks would heal. But Robyn's voice lingered in his mind, steady, reassuring. She's right, he thought. It's not about winning. It's about staying strong, no matter what. And with that thought, Kody realized that the real game wasn't on stage. It was backstage, in whispered conversations, in unseen moments where power was quietly wielded and stories quietly controlled. Conclusion: the unseen drama. Television viewers see the glitz, the glamour, the dramatic confrontations. But sometimes the most pivotal moments happen away from the cameras, in whispers, glances, and quiet strategies. Robyn's whisper changed everything. After the reunion, the crew began dismantling the set, but for Kody, the night was far from over. The quiet backstage corridor was empty, but the echoes of the night's confrontation followed him like shadows. He could still hear Christine's voice, sharp, honest, relentless, cutting through his carefully crafted defenses. And beneath it all, Robyn's whisper lingered in his mind, a lifeline and a warning. Kody knew she had prepared him meticulously for this moment. Not just rehearsing answers or crafting statements, but molding his very mindset, reminding him of what was at stake. She understood the fragility hidden beneath his outward bravado, and she exploited it with surgical precision. Robyn's calculated influence. Robyn's influence on Kody had always been subtle yet powerful. To the cameras, she appeared serene and supportive, the calm pillar in a complicated family dynamic. But off-screen, she was a strategist, the unseen architect of many decisions. Sources close to the family hinted at countless conversations where Robyn gently but firmly shifted Kody's perspective, aligning him closer to her own views. Her whispers weren't just comforting, they were directives. "She's the one who really runs the show now," said a former crew member who requested anonymity. Kody listens to her like she's the final authority, and when she tells him what to say or how to react, he usually does it. This wasn't manipulation in the cartoonish sense, but a nuanced power play born of years of navigating complex emotions, insecurities, and public scrutiny. Robyn knew that controlling the narrative meant controlling Kody's narrative. The lonely hour. Kody's reflection was interrupted by the quiet creak of a door. It was Robyn. "Still awake?" she asked, her voice a soft balm to his frayed nerves. He nodded. "I can't stop thinking about what Christine said. About everything." Robyn took a seat beside him. "You can't control what she says or how people react, but you can control your response." Her words were both a comfort and a command. "Do you think I did enough? Did I protect us?" Kody's voice cracked slightly, a rare glimpse of vulnerability. Robyn smiled faintly. "You did what you could, and that's all anyone can do." They sat in silence for a moment. Outside, the night wrapped the world in quiet, but inside the room, an unspoken tension pulsed between them. The tension of two people bound by love, ambition, and an unyielding desire for control. Christine's perspective. Meanwhile, Christine was far from the glittering lights and cameras. In her new home, surrounded by the calm she had longed for, she was processing the aftermath of the reunion. She had expected the confrontation to be difficult, but the intensity on stage, the weight of years compressed into a few tense minutes, was overwhelming. "I wasn't just speaking for myself," Christine told a close friend later. "I was speaking for all of us who felt unseen, unheard." But even as she found strength in her words, she was aware of the unseen forces still at play, the quiet influences behind the scenes, the alliances and power struggles. Robyn's whispered to Kody, "I knew there was more going on than what we saw on stage," Christine admitted. The family is more complicated than the cameras ever show. The network's role. TLC executives watched the reunion episode's ratings climb rapidly. Social media exploded with debate, sympathy, and controversy. For the network, drama was good business. But the lines between authentic emotion and orchestrated conflict blurred more with every season. Behind closed doors, producers debated how much control to exert over the Brown family's story. One senior producer confided, "We want real moments, but we also want compelling television. Sometimes that means nudging situations or guiding conversations. It's a delicate balance." Robyn's role was well known internally, respected, and sometimes feared. Her ability to influence Kody, and through him the rest of the family dynamic, was an asset in the complex ecosystem of reality TV. The family's fractures. The reunion night exposed cracks that had been widening for years. Christine's departure wasn't just a personal choice, it was a symptom of deeper fractures. Mary, Janelle, and Robyn each carried their own scars and stories, but Robyn's closeness to Kody gave her a distinct advantage. She was the wife who could speak for him, the one who shaped his public persona. This power dynamic caused ripples. Resentment simmered beneath the surface. On the reunion stage, the tension was palpable. Offstage, it was electric. An insider revealed, Robyn wasn't just supporting Kody. She was steering the ship. That caused jealousy and mistrust. Everyone felt it. The public's reaction. Fans of Sister Wives were captivated and divided.